how are ya? It's Guy from the Constant Cyclist channel. Thought I'd do another touring bike setup for Outback travel in Australia. First thing you've noticed compared to the last one is the bicycle's changed. I managed to pick up a Koga Miyata World Traveler on Gumtree, and these bikes are basically designed to go to remote places with heavy loads. So I was really stoked when this came up last year on Gumtree. So it's got a hardened aluminium frame and sloping cross tube. The other obvious thing is it has butterfly bars, whereas I've always ridden on drop bars. So I was very interested to see how it would compare, and yeah, it's pretty good. I think I'm convinced, although the hand position feels a little bit forward. I would prefer probably if the bars slope back so that my arm and my arm is in a straight line. Now I'm a bit like this when I'm riding. I think I prefer that position, so I'll have a look on the internet when I get back and see what other things are available. Also, it comes with V-brakes, which I find are really good, especially compared to the cantilevers that I was using on my trusted Roberts. So let me maybe start in the front. So these bars allow for several hand positions, and the good thing is that you can put a lot of attachments on it. So I've got mirrors, the bell, got my watch, front light, and bike computer. And then this is a GoPro mount, which is fully rotatable 360 degrees, which is very good for looking backwards and forwards when you're riding. The other thing is a bar bag, which I'm using for the first time, which I find pretty good. And look at the front. It's not exactly a stand to take weight. It's just to stop the wheel from going the other way. So it sort of keeps it steady. What's really taking the weight is this Bigfoot rear stand, which is frame fitting, which is good. And then I often put down a small sort of plastic base plate so that if the sand's soft, it doesn't sink in. Also got a new solar panel. It's a 10-watt one, which I'm really happy with. It works really well, and it charges about a 10,000 milliamp power pack on a sunny day. There's my trusted Lucy light, still going well. My plastic stool's in the usual place on top of the rack. I've just carrying water in my saddle bag, and this trip I've gone over to using plastic water bottles. I've got 4 1.5 litre bottles. I find they're just a bit more robust and durable and reliable than the Ortlieb water sacks, which don't like having any pressure on them. And I think I've got another one that's leaking, unfortunately. So yeah, I think I'm going to move over to plastic going forward. On the pedals, I've just brought my old Shimano pedals, which are clipless on one side and is normal. As this trip hasn't been done loads of k's off-road, I've been more or less clipped in most of the time. So I find I can just get a bit more power rather than the flat pedals. My feet were slipping off a bit on the flat pedals on the last trip. Then on this old Dior XT Shimano group set, the smallest cog I think is about a 22 and a 34 on the back, so I can really get up at everything, except for when if it's a dirt road and it's loose gravel, the pressure I'm putting on the pedals tends to make the wheels slip a bit. So sometimes I've had to get off and push it up, which is really worse than cycling. It's less efficient. Have to get off, push. It's too steep. Bike's too heavy. Maybe could have made it, but I didn't want to fall off. Did most of it. Excuse. The wheels are the wheels that I had on my Robert's bike, built by Melody Wheels. Fortunately, the bike is the same, takes the same size wheels as my Robert, so that was another thing that really made me want to get this bike. The only some issues are the frame. The triangle is a bit smaller because it's a small size. I think it's a 50. I can't put 3 1-litre bottles in. I can put 2 and then a stunted bottle. For under £1,000, I'm really happy to be able to try out this sort of iconic long distance touring bike. Otherwise, buying one new these days, if you can get them with a wait list, it would probably cost £5,000 as well, with the shipping cost to Australia. I've got another GoPro mount on the back as well, which is another one of these rotatable mounts, just to get a few more angles of interest. So I have changed a little bit the what's in which bags. So that's my tent. I've started to put food plus clothes in the back because I found that I wanted a bit more weight on the front, so I put my cooking stuff and food in there. So yeah, unless I've missed anything out, that's about it. Roll mat in there, tent pole in there, electricals, sleeping bag. Yeah, it's done well. I've been happy with the ride, and I will be using it again. Okay, thanks for watching.